Hello, Kindred Spirits, and welcome back to Bits and Bob's Divination. My name is Caitlin, and today we are going to be diving into your next 2 weeks with a week-by-week energy forecast with the charms. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Alright, so welcome back, my beautiful Kindred Spirits, and anyone new joining us here in the new year, 2026. Crazy! I cannot believe that we are already at 2026, and then I've had this channel for 6 years. It's completely mind-boggling to me, but I hope that you guys have been enjoying the readings that I've been putting out, and for those of you who have been here from the beginning, shout out, let me know. I would love to see who has and who hasn't, although I'm sure I know who you are. And today we're going to be looking into your next 2 weeks, but also because it is a new year, I wanted to let you guys know that the New Year's readings that I do every year are open here for the rest of January. So if you're interested in getting a New Year's reading where I can dive deep into your new year, getting into the nitty-gritty so that you can really go into your new year with a clearer view of things going on, then definitely feel free to reach out. I have more information on my Instagram post down below, as well as helpful and honest reviews over there that you can check out. And if you can't find those or you have a difficult time finding anything, definitely feel free to just reach out to me, whether through an email or an Instagram DM, and I will send more information your way. But these ones are both snail mail reading options as well as digital reading options, and I try to make it as affordable as possible with different tiers that you can choose from as well for whatever works best for you. So all that information is down below. These are the best readings I feel like to get if you've never gotten a reading from me or ever gotten a reading before in general, as it is something you can use as a tool for yourself for the entire year. So it really is, a big bang for your buck kind of thing. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely feel free to reach out. But we're going to go ahead and look at these piles. So we have 3 different piles here for you. With the first pile, there is this piece of Pyrite. So if you're feeling called to this piece of Pyrite, then this is pile number 1. Here for pile number 2, if you're feeling called to this one, there is this piece of Red Tiger's Eye. So if you're feeling called to this one, that's pile number 2. And last but not least here for pile number 3, if you're feeling called to this one, it is Spotted Jasper. So if you're feeling called to this piece of Spotted Jasper or Dalmatian Jasper, then this is the pile for you. But before you start heading off to the timestamps, as always, I like to invite you to take a deep and cleansing breath here with me in just a moment so you can connect with your guides and connect with the piles, to connect with your own intuition, or just have a mindful moment. So let's go ahead and take that deep breath together here now. And as always, there's no rules to this. You can choose all 3 of the piles. You can choose a pile and change your mind. There really is no way or correct way to do this. All of the timestamps are down below in the description alongside the chapter marks of this video. And like I mentioned earlier, if you're interested in your own New Year's reading, looking deeper into your entire year, then definitely feel free to reach out, as I would love to send one your way. So with that all said, let's go ahead and get started here with pile number 1. Hello, Group 1. If you've decided to choose this piece of shiny Pyrite, then this is the pile for you, as today we are going to be looking into a 2-week ahead reading, looking into the letters, the numbers that are coming forward for oracle messages, as well as diving deep into the tarot cards and tarot tiles, as well as the charms. So all of the different supplies and everything I just listed will be down below in the description, so you can check it out if you're curious what I'm using here today. It's exciting to be back with you guys since it's been an entire new year. So we're here in 2026 now, which is just crazy. So we are going to get right into it, looking into your letters here first. But as always, feel free to get yourself cozy, settled, comfy for this. Get yourself a cup of tea, a nice cozy blanket, whatever you want. Even grab a journal if you'd like to write down your findings, as I think it's always important with any reading that I do, but especially with these 2 week ahead readings, because to look into your own intuition and see what your own intuition is bringing forward, especially because we're using such different kinds of tools and supplies than just a tarot deck or just an oracle deck. So definitely play around, see what you can do. Use this as an exercise in your own intuition, and we'll see what we come up with together. So with the letter tiles, these are going to be looking into oracle messages, repeating letters that could be really important for you for a particular name or initial, and anything else that decides to show up. So definitely feel free to send your energy in. As always, with all the supplies here, really does make a difference, and I'll pull some for you. The next 2 weeks, group 1. Okay, so you have L-I here, and immediately the word that popped up in my mind, and we'll see if it shows up with the other letters, but was the word live. Almost like you're wanting to live to the fullest these next 2 weeks, or you're wanting to live for yourself these next 2 weeks, not trying to follow a direct order of things you need to be doing or what you should be doing at whatever age you're at, or like some set rule set that you feel like you need to follow. What do you want to do to live in this moment, in this week, in these next 2 weeks, to really set yourself up for this coming year to really live in it versus just move through it? So that's just like the immediate thought that I got here, but I want to see what else you have. So we have E, D. That is really interesting that we're getting all of that next to what I just said. Y, E, and U. Lots of E's showing up here, which did make me think like lied or lie. Almost like, if we relate it to what I was talking about earlier, almost like you feel like it's a lie, that's a thing that you can even do, or it sounds like, something very far away or in a fantasy that you're able to live to the fullest or to really charge into this new year for your goals and your wants and your needs, even if those are not these super big ambitious things, but just living in the moment, enjoying those things. Maybe you feel like that's a lie, or you feel like someone lied to you about that, or it isn't something that you feel like you can trust, but maybe you're working through something around that right now. Otherwise, it also could be just like these next 2 weeks, it feels like you need to hide yourself or hold yourself back or mask or not be your true authentic self around other people, or other people are not being their true authentic self around you. You might find that there's a layer of masking or like a veil over things where you just feel like communication isn't as clear over these next 2 weeks, especially since you got only 2 consonants, and mostly, if you include Y as a vowel, mostly vowels. And when I see that coming up, it makes me think that communication isn't very clear. Things aren't coming out as clearly how you want to communicate to other people. You might mess up with your words, or you didn't say what you meant, or things are just highly emotional over these next 2 weeks as well, but that makes it difficult to explain how you're feeling. So there could be something going on around that too, where you're just trying to figure out how to communicate what you're feeling, not only to other people, but also to yourself. Sometimes we withhold information even from ourselves. Other things that we could spell here, there's not a lot we can do because most of it is E's, so you might find that E is a very important clue here for you, but truly there's not much we can spell. So feel free to play around with these as you feel you'd like to, but that's definitely the big one that's coming forward here is lie or lied. A bit of deception going on, but let's go ahead and see what else there is. I'm going to pull you a couple of numbers here to look into the numerology that's coming forward, and also to see if there's any repeating numbers, angel numbers, or other significant dates coming forward for you over the next 2 weeks. And as I was mixing that up, which by the way, you got a lot of them, it was making me think about the choice that you chose for this pile of pyrite, because pyrite is like fool's gold. It's like, it's not gold. It's not that pyrite isn't gorgeous and beautiful in and of itself, but it's not this fanciful, deceptive, mask that's coming forward here. It's just being itself, and some people mistaked it for gold. And so I do think that there could be this situation too where it's not like you outright lied to anyone or someone else outright lied to you, or even a system, right? It doesn't have to be a person, but just like a system of things. But just in general, like, it's always been this way, but we perceived it to be gold, you know? So there's something going on there too, where like you're seeing the true colors of something. Okay, so you also have the number 12 in black, the number 10 in blue, 3 in blue, 7 in red, and 11 in orange. A nice little mixed bag here. I really feel like these feel like significant dates, with the 17th, the 10th, the 13th, the 12th, the 11th, all of that. As well as the 3rd and the 7th, all being really important dates or significant dates to things that are going on. Otherwise, you don't have any repeating numbers, and the only one that's really calling out to me is the number 7 in red, because the number 7 usually represents introspection or looking back on things in a very intentional way, and that is in red, which tells me that you're maybe not looking back or not wanting to see the true colors, or not, you know, you're putting your own mask over memories or thoughts to try to either protect yourself or not fully see the full picture. But there's something going on here where it feels just kind of hazy or not in full focus. So definitely curious to see what you get for your the rest of your cards and everything else that we're going to be pulling with the charms. But I want to pull a main energy card, and instead of doing a tarot deck, I was really feeling called to this oracle deck, the Citadel Oracle, because this has a lot of archetypes, and I thought, since we're starting a new year, what archetype might be coming forward for you specifically for these next 2 weeks. But let's go ahead and see what that is for you. So definitely send your energy in, and we'll see what that main energy is, or main archetype over these next 2 weeks that is coming forward. So group 1 here, an archetype coming forward for group 1 for these next 2 weeks. Group 1, the next 2 weeks. It's coming forward. Okay, you have the Sentinel, determination and certainty, and immediately I'm feeling called to the fact that there's a massive shield here, and not only a massive shield, but a shield, goodness, a shield with a sun in the background. The sun represents exposure. The sun represents seeing things very clearly, honestly, truthfully, and then you have a shield put up, which tells me that, you know, what is the truth is being shielded from you, or you are shielding it from others. And these could be really, you know, sometimes when we talk about lying, or we talk about situations in which we are masking or not being totally authentic, we think about it in a very negative way. But sometimes it's because we just didn't feel safe enough, or we didn't feel ready enough, or it was more complex of a situation than just the surface level one lie, or one mask, or one situation in which you weren't being entirely yourself. So I don't want you to think that I'm saying any of this as if you are, or someone else is, lying and deceiving and being very negative in this way, but it could just be something that they're just trying to protect themselves, or you're trying to protect yourself because you don't feel safe enough to share certain information with certain people, or other people don't necessarily feel like sharing it with you. So that's something to consider, especially with the odd form of communication over these next 2 weeks being kind of more emotional and less direct. So there could be, you know, that miscommunication going on, or not fully seeing the true picture because it's not as clear. You also had the words determination and certainty. Again, things aren't very certain, very clear, very concise. But also the Sentinel is someone who protects. They want to protect. And so you also could be protecting someone else in your life by lying for them, or not sharing full information or withholding information, not admitting certain information because you are trying to protect them or protect yourself. And that can also be a very valiant effort on your part too, and something that can be beneficial to the person or yourself, but it also could be, draining at the same time. So let's go ahead and see what else is coming forward here with you for your 2-week ahead charm cast here, where we're going to go charm by charm. So we're going to be doing this using the charm mat or cloth that I have here, which, as always, if you guys are interested in getting your own charm cloth, definitely feel free to reach out. But anything that falls here in the center is going to be related to that sentinel energy, or those main energies coming forward for the next 2 weeks. Anything that falls on the left side of this vertical line is going to be about week 1, and then the same for the right for week 2, and we'll talk about the moon phases individually if they show up. So let us begin first with the tarot tiles, and then we'll pull charms to get the details and look into what you got. So definitely feel free to connect with them, and I'll pull some for you, week 1. Okay, a nice little set here. We're gonna dive into them more in a moment. Let's pull some charms. So as always, have a little chit chat with them, and I'll pull some for you as well. Oop, some are falling in my lap. I'm gonna drop this one that fell. Okay, so I'm gonna zoom you in, and we'll look at these together. So it looks like, to me, everything you have here in the center is related to the sentinel energy that we've already talked about, which I'll bring back over for you. But also you have the sacral chakra here at a moment. The sacral chakra, which is all about creativity and being... It can relate a bit to yourself, but that's more solar plexus, especially with the sun that we were talking about here earlier, and that solar energy. But this is like slightly more deeper, but it's being related to the 4 of Cups here. And the 4 of Cups is also reversed, which tells me usually when we see the 4 of Cups, we tend to see ourselves here being given or offered an opportunity or some help or some guidance or some support, and not seeing it, not wanting it, pushing it away, being in this sulky kind of mood where we are not accepting the help that is given or the support that is given to us. But in this case, because it is reversed, it's either that you are accepting it, but more likely with everything else you had show up here tells me that this is more related to you wanting to support someone, wanting to help someone, and them not wanting that support, especially if you're trying to go about it in a very creative way, or you're trying to like sneak your way in to help them. I feel like that's only going to make things worse, because they do not want the help. They do not see it as something that is helpful, but rather something that's pushing them back, or is kind of a hit to their own identity or to their own pride, especially since they're not wanting to show maybe their true self, or you're not feeling entirely truthful to them. So there's just some sort of like tension happening here between you and another person in which you want to bring some support to. It could be a group of people or one particular individual, but regardless, there is a bit of like this hard-headedness going on here that is continuing over these next 2 weeks. As for the main energies that are coming in for week 1, you have flexibility. So this could be physically being flexible, but it can also represent just having a flexible mindset, being more open-minded in this first week could be very useful to you. You have the meditation drum showing up here, so you're being mindful, flexible, opening up yourself. It's actually a really positive week, I feel like, going on here in this first week. You also have the Judgment card too, which tells me that you're releasing judgment from yourself and others, which with all of the things that we've talked about here is very useful. But also the Judgment card can represent awakenings or epiphanies. So it also could be that you're having an epiphany about all of this deception or this masking or this need to give support to someone, and maybe you're introspecting on that and realizing like maybe I need to step back, maybe I need to focus on myself. maybe I need to be flexible to them making mistakes and them moving through things, and maybe it wouldn't be the way that I'd go about it, but it's the way that they feel is correct for them. Could be something that's related to religion or spirituality, as you have that showing up here, being flexible in that way. You also have the drum here, which makes me think of like music, or it could be related also to, especially since you also have the trumpet showing up here with the judgment card with this angel. But whenever I think of the meditation drum, it also represents being mindful, staying on beat, feeling like you are moving through the week in like a very meditative, rhythmic way. So there's something about that showing up here where you're getting back in rhythm, you're opening yourself up to new ideas and having epiphanies about that. But also on the other side, you also have maybe a little bit of money coming in here. You have the unlock charm of the key, which whenever I see a key, it represents an opportunity being presented to you. And that opportunity is related to sort of more everyday tasks, mundane things that we need to get done. So you may have an opportunity show up here right now that could either give you a little bit more financial help. Maybe it could be that someone's reaching out to help you out financially in some way, whether that's giving you a commission or a opportunity to provide a service or something within your job. But also, and more so, what I'm getting here is that like you have an opportunity to get something that you've been meaning to get done for a while, whether that's finishing a project or whether that's cleaning the house, whether that's running an errand. But there's something going on here where it's like you finally get the opportunity in this first week to get that done, and it's whether you take advantage of it or not is up to you, but like there is a little bit of extra time given to you at this time for that. As for week 2, you have a few different things going on here. We have 2 charms showcasing thinking more of that flexibility, thinking outside of the box energy, because you have both the night charm here, which represents going about something in a different way than most people, as well as taking the road less traveled charm, which, you know, this is the typical main road and you took a side road, you took a different path than the majority. And so there's something showing up here where you're taking a different path, or you're diverging paths with someone or with something in your life that would be benefiting you to go a different direction. You have the clothesline charm, or the little clothespin, which means it's something that you're pinning, you're going to come back to it. And that is related to the 7 of Cups. And the 7 of Cups, whenever I see this one, it makes me think of like having a bunch of different projects, a ton of different hobbies that you're wanting to pursue. You don't even know what you want to do because there's just so many things you could be doing. So you might find yourself having that moment where it's like you have so many things you could be doing that you end up doing nothing. So that might be happening here, where you feel slightly less motivated in the second week, especially at the start of the week. And then you also have the table charm, or the missing piece charm, with the Page of Cups. We already had the Knight of Cups, and you had the Knight of Pentacles earlier. So a lot of Knight energy. The Knight of Cups likes to speak with their heart, and also they are offering the cup that we talked about earlier, and it's a missing piece. So again, if you keep this flexible nature, if you're flexible in how you approach this person or approach this situation of giving support to someone, I think that it's going to be a lot better and more of a positive interaction. But it's definitely something that you have to like make sure to really listen to what they are wanting and what their needs are. And if they don't want the help or the support, definitely be sure to, listen to them, hear them out, and see where you guys go from there, and have some open conversation and communication here, especially in the second week. So overall, those are all of your charms and cards here, group 1. I hope that this has been useful and helpful to you in moving and navigating it through your next 2 weeks. I hope that you did enjoy this, and if you did, be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below what you saw. Always am curious to hear. And as it is a new year, you are always welcome to subscribe and join the channel at any time. But also, if you're interested in seeing more of the pick a card readings, that's a great way to stay on top of them. And because it is a new year, I am doing New Year's readings right now for snail mail readings as well as digital reading options with lots of different price points and different spreads or reading types that you can choose from that would best suit you. These are the ones that I recommend if you have been thinking about getting a reading from me, or if you've been thinking about getting a reading from even someone else. I think that year ahead readings are the best time to get a reading because it's something that you can look at year round. It's something you can come back to time and time again, and it's useful information, I feel like, to have for a longer period of time. So if that's something you're interested in to start your new year off with more clarity and understanding, then definitely feel free to reach out, as I would love to do that for you. More information down below through my Instagram, and you're always welcome to send me an email or send me a DM, and I will send you all the information that you need or could wish for. So with that all said, I'm going to go ahead and close off your reading. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello group 2, if you decide to choose this piece of red tiger's eye, then this is the pile for you, as today we are going to be exploring your next 2 weeks in a new year as we have now begun going into 2026. It's really nice to have you guys here for a new year. Today we're going to be using the charms as well as the tarot tiles, the letters and the numbers, and the deck of choice today isn't going to be a tarot deck but actually the Citadel Oracle, because I was just really feeling called to it for you guys today for some reason with the archetypes. So we're going to be playing around with those here in a moment, but as always, feel free to get yourself cozy, settled, and comfy for this, as we are going to be looking into what you got going on. So feel free to get yourself a cup of tea, a nice snack, a cozy blanket, whatever you need, maybe even a journal to write down your findings, as I think it's always important, especially with these 2 week ahead readings, using all different kinds of very distinct oracle messages, to play around with your own intuition and see what comes forward with me here, as it's a great opportunity to exercise your own intuition. So let's play around together. We're going to be playing around first with the letter tiles. These are going to show you very distinct initials that are coming forward. Particular names could be spelled out, or names of things as well could be spelled out. We're also going to see any oracle messages that come forward too. So feel free to send your energy in, as always. It really does make a difference, and I will pull some for you. Okay, so you have IJNR. This almost sounds like a Myers-Briggs personality type or something. IJNRTIEYR and R. We do have tie showing up here, and it made me think of both like a tie that you would wear, right? Like if you wanted to think about it, like maybe you're going to a formal event, or there's something going on here in that way. But it also makes me think of like if you're in competition with someone right now, or there's this constant rivalry or this feeling of like a push and pull tension, I feel like you guys are going to choose like a truce or a tie over these next 2 weeks, or you're going to allow yourself to rest a little bit with that these next 2 weeks, something showing up there. You also ended up getting 3 R's here, which makes me think of like the 3R, isn't it like 3 R's where it like rest, rejuvenation, and something else, or is it just R and R? Regardless, like R and R is showing up here in the idea that maybe you're getting some rest, getting some calm time, again with that feeling of settling things with a tie, settling yourself, allowing yourself for some rest and rejuvenation and some time to relax. Otherwise, also just in general, you have 3 R's showing up here, which makes me think of a very significant initial that could be coming forward. I also see like a journey in a way, like I journey. It's almost like you are starting a new journey, which makes me think like obviously a new year is a new journey for each of us. But even if you like don't really think about the new year in that way as like a restart or a reset or a new beginning, In general, there just may be like a physical journey you're going on, like maybe you are vacationing or heading out somewhere for rest and rejuvenation, or maybe it's also just that you're getting back from some sort of vacation or going on some sort of journey. It doesn't have to be something that's, you know, nights and nights and nights. It could literally just be going to a city you've never been to, or going to that local cafe you've always wanted to go to, right? It's just some sort of small adventure or small journey that you want to take and embark on in a physical way. Otherwise, that's kind of everything I've really got going on here when it comes to your letters, but I do want to go ahead and pull you some numbers for sort of the same idea. So with the numbers here, we're not going to be looking into initials necessarily, but significant dates, angel numbers, repeating numbers, numerology, all of that. So let's go ahead and pull some for you. Let's see what you got. So you have 12 in orange, 12 in black, and a 5 in red. 5s usually represent a big change or a need for change. And the fact that you got it in red here tells me that either there's conflict around that change, or in this case, because of everything else that you've already gotten, it makes me think more so that like you're like not ready for change. You're like, okay, a new year has sprung with the 12 energy, 12 months completion, but you're like not ready to change. You're not ready to do a new journey or ready to go on some new embarking adventure. Or there's like either it's that you're not ready, or that the year is going to kind of catapult you into it after this rest and rejuvenation. Otherwise, the 12s and the 5s could also just be very significant dates. The fact that you got 2 12s tells me that, again, it's relating to this new year, especially because, 12 months to get all the way around the wheel of the year in a way. And also the 12 being in orange as well here is like a very rejuvenating, very energetic number. So it's like you have the energy to start and embark on a new journey, but it's not necessarily that you're ready for it because you're still gaining that energy back. Like these next 2 weeks is like about planning for that new journey, getting ready for it, but it's not necessarily happening over these next 2 weeks is what I'm kind of getting just from the numbers, is a feeling that it's more like you're having to prep for it, or you're having to like gain the energy back with that rest. So let's go ahead and see your main energy with that archetype I was talking about earlier. So we're going to see that main energy, the energy coming forward most prevalently over these next 2 weeks in the form of an archetype for you over the next 2 weeks. So let's see, group 2. Do feel free to send your energy in, and I will pull one for you, group 2. So the next 2 weeks, an archetype and energy that is most coming forward for you for the next 2 weeks. Group 2. It's hiding in there. Group 2, the next 2 weeks. Take this one, if I can get it out. Right here. Okay. So you got the sailor. That totally checks out with what we were talking about earlier with the journey. The sailor says new influences, wanderlust. And then you have these 2 fishes, which makes me think of that duality of like wanting to adventure, but also wanting to stay home and like hibernate and take time off, and rest and rejuvenate. And that's what I was talking about. Like, it's like you're prepping for the journey. You're getting all of the supplies. You're getting all the information you need. You're making sure everything's ready to go. You're making sure your car's got the gas in it, that you've got all the supplies that you need, that you've just, all the prep work is happening over these next 2 weeks so that you can go out and play around with that 12 energy, that like really big bursting sun energy, that growing excitement that is coming forward here for you guys. So I really feel like you guys are ready for a new journey, or you're preparing for a new journey so that you are ready for it. It's like right now you're not ready for big changes, but you want to make big changes in the new year. So how do you prep yourself to have that happen? And I'm not just talking in the new year in general. It's just that that's sort of what's coming up here with everything. You even have like year coming forward, and then you had the 12. So it really does feel like new year So I can't help but like connect those two together. But regardless, even if it wasn't a new year, a new journey is amongst you. A new journey has presented itself. And so where do you take it? Is it a physical journey that you're going on? Or is it more of an emotional one? Is it one that you're working through in that way? So we're going to see it more with the charms here in a moment. So let's go ahead and zoom you back out. And you guys can see, so we've got the charms here, and we also have the tarot tiles. And what I'm going to do is cast these both on top of here to get the bigger picture items and the details to see what's coming forward for you for the next 2 weeks in a sort of week by week forecast. So everything that falls here in the center is going to be related to that sailor energy, or the biggest energies coming forward. Anything on the left side of this vertical line is going to be related to week 1, and same for the right with week 2. And then we'll talk about the moon phases individually for timing if they do show up. So let's go ahead and pull you some here. So definitely feel free to connect, and let's pull some. Goodness, we've got a lot of energy going on here, especially here in the center. Crazy. So, okay, let's go ahead and pull you some charms as well so we can get the details first. Feel free to have a little conversation, a little chit chat with them, and I'll pull some for you. Okay, so zoom you in so you can see, and I'm just going to move these over here so you can see them a little bit better. See what you have going on here in the center, because you have a lot going on in the center. These ones are sort of riding the center, but the majority of what you have is the nostalgia charm as well, or card, which is the Six of Cups, which I tend to see the Six of Cups as an opportunity to introspect, to look back on things, to see how much you've changed, what hasn't changed, what changes you want to make. There's a lot of like just checking in, that prep work that I was talking about earlier. And then you have new ideas being thrust at you in this way with the sword here of the Ace of Swords. And the Ace of Swords is planting new ideas, planting new seeds, new beliefs, new systems to be sort of working into your new year. So this is also an opportunity to, make new habits, new goals, new routines, and really stick to them. And the only way to do that is sometimes to have to look back and see, why didn't this work before? How would this work now? How could I change this? Was this beneficial to me even if it was working? So there's a lot of introspection here, a lot of questions to ask yourself, especially if they're related to financial goals, because you do have the gem or the diamond here. But also, if we think about like gems as well, outside of like their monetary worth, we can also think about them in their craftsmanship, and their delicate nature of the craftsmanship that comes to that. Like there's a lot of like math involved and a lot of planning and prep, and so there also, again, is like financial prep to have coming in here to help with financial goals, either in the new year or just over these next 2 weeks in general. Other things you had coming in here, you have the sort of retreat card of the Eight of Cups. The Eight of Cups also is showcasing what cups are we leaving behind and what are we gaining. I know this seems really like obvious stuff that happens in the new year, but these are things we tend to think about, and they're coming forward for sure. This is like, you can see them sort of going on a little retreat. And in this case, right, they're retreating from some of this emotional imbalance. What cups are no longer serving them? What isn't fulfilling them? And so there's something emotionally that you're like, okay, this did not work. I need a new plan. I need a new plan of action. And in this case, also, it relates to that journey I was talking about. It doesn't have to be a physical journey that you're going on, but just regardless, or it doesn't really matter either way, if you're going on a physical journey or more of an emotional one, or even a task-driven journey. Regardless, that journey is taking you somewhere you haven't gone before. It is a new adventure to new lands. And so you're also having to retreat from what you already know, which can be very scary and very difficult to do, because, right, like if we have this financial stability that we were getting and no longer is feeling stable, or no longer is giving you the emotional fulfillment that you'd like it to, then that's when you have to change things up. That's when you have to shift things, and that requires a bit of bravery, a bit of courage, and a bit of tenacity to be able to do that, and a bit of like go-getter energy. You also had over here next to it the Hierophant, but it is reversed. So normally the Hierophant looks like this, but you got it reversed, which tells me that you are in the student seat, that you are the students, and you're not feeling like you have it all figured out yet. Again, more of that planning is needed, a little bit more, even help possibly from someone who is close to you, that has also gone through similar situations as you, is maybe passing down some information or support down to you right now, as you maybe don't have as much experience in this financial knowledge, or you feel like you need a little help, whether that's a teacher or a mentor in like a family member or a friend, whether that's taking a financial literacy class, whether that is educating yourself online. It could come from multiple sources and multiple places, but someone has more experience than you that they could pass down some information, and it could be very useful and helpful. Other things that you have going on here in the first week, you have the another card to showcase a journey or an energy of moving forward, and this is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords usually represents, to me, I feel like more of a mindset change of a journey. So I kept saying I wasn't sure which kind of journey you were going on, whether it was a physical one or not, but both of these, this is an emotional shift, and this one is a mental shift, which is kind of those two cards put together. So this is when you're really starting to plant those new seeds, plant those new habits, plant those new routines here in that first week. You also have the charm that is like a miscommunication, because I personally cannot read this, so it makes me think of like something that feels so foreign or out of your box, out of your wheelhouse, and that you're probably going to get a few things wrong. You're not going to get it all right. It's not all going to be roses and perfect. You're going to be having to kind of go through the difficult holly stages here, because I think of holly as like a very hardy plant, having to, still bloom and bear fruit in the depths of winter. And then even with the rose as well, it can represent, thorns around the rose. So there's just this feeling that in the first week, you're going on more of a mindset shift, but that shift in mindset and this new energy of wanting to bring some sort of new habit or routine into your life, specifically around finances or craftsmanship, isn't going to be super, easy sailing for you, because it is something new. It is something entirely different than what you've done before, and so you're having to kind of just navigate it and see what happens. But by the second week, it seems like you're going to have more people in your corner, because you have the Sun card, and the Sun card represents like feeling very like on a high. You feel really good, you feel very like warm and fuzzy and nice and joyful. And next to that, you also got the charm that I tend to think of relating to the Six of Cups, of nostalgia. So it feels like you're going to be very nostalgic, happy, bubbly, excited in this second week, like things are actually working. But then you also have the Tower or manipulation charm, but because you got it kind of on its side, it makes me think that you're not going to have huge big changes happening here in the second week, as much as it usually would allude to that. Because it fell this way, it makes me think that big changes are not happening over these next 2 weeks outside of your control. It's all in your control. It's all in your court. So any changes that you do decide to make are ones to retreat away from things that no longer serve you, to move towards more financial literacy, or wanting to work towards more financial goals, and wanting to maybe get some help or some more education or support from friends, family, from educational sources that could help you to navigate those a little bit easier with the things that you do not know that feel foreign to you. And then the second week is all about happy, bubbly, things feel good, you feel like you're on the right path. So those are all the charms and cards that I got here for you for the next 2 weeks. Group 2, I hope that this has been useful and helpful in navigating your next 2 weeks, and if it was, definitely be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below what you saw. I would always love to hear. And also, if you're interested in more pick a card readings into this new year, definitely feel free to subscribe, as I put out new readings every single Monday, as well as educational ones that I like to sprinkle in. And as we have moved into a new year, I have one of my favorite types of readings to do every year, the New Year Ahead reading. So if you want to look deeper into your new year, how to navigate it, what to bring from the previous year and what to leave behind, as well as lots of other helpful information to navigate your new year with more ease and clarity, then definitely feel free to reach out for one of these, as I feel like if you've never gotten a reading from me, or even if you have, I feel like this is the perfect one to get for your first reading, because it is something you can use year round and has a lot of really good structure to it. So if you're interested in one of those, all the information is down below in my Instagram post that I have pinned to the top, and also you're always welcome to just reach out to me and I'll send you more information, whether it's through an email or an Instagram DM. But I'm going to go ahead and close off your reading here. Thank you so much for being here with me today, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, Group 3. If you decide to choose this piece of spotted Jasper, then this is the pile for you. Looking into your next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing that with the charms, the letters, the numbers, the tarot tiles, and instead of a tarot deck today for the main energy card, we're going to actually look into a main archetype for your next 2 weeks with the Citadel Oracle, because it was really calling to me today. And I haven't pulled it out in a while, so I'm excited to use it here for you guys. It's been useful in the last 2 piles. But as always, feel free to get yourself cozy, settled, comfy, and nice for this. Joining me here in the new year, so crazy, 2026. So we're going to be seeing what's going on just for the next 2 weeks. But I do have my New Year's readings open, so if you want to look deeper into your full new year, definitely feel free to reach out. All the information is down below. But here for today's, we're going to be looking into your next 2 weeks, so definitely feel free to get yourself. But as we move through this reading here today, because we are using such unique supplies, which as always is listed down below, this is a good opportunity to really utilize your own intuition and to exercise it, see what comes forward for you, see what little different details that you notice that I don't, and we can co-create this reading together. So definitely feel free to play around, see what your intuition strikes and spikes out for you, and we'll see. So we're going to be starting out first with the letter tiles. These are going to be looking into any oracle messages, how you're communicating over these next 2 weeks, or the communication style of the next 2 weeks. And we're also going to be looking into any initials that come forward that are really significant or are repeating themselves. So let's see what those are here today. Definitely feel free, as always, to send your energy in, and I'll pull some for you. Okay, so you have A, U, I, E, we're getting vowels, E, H, X, and Z. Very interesting set of letters. Getting both a Z and an X right at the end, where it's very difficult to spell specific words with those. And the fact that you got so many vowels tells me that communication over these next 2 weeks is sometimes a little bit difficult. I find that, like, if I always think of this in like a very functional way. Like if you took out all the vowels in a sentence, you could probably still figure out what that sentence is saying. But if you put only the vowels in, you're probably still going to be completely lost. You might have a feeling of like the vibe, you might have a feeling of like the emotional intensity that they are bringing forth, but not necessarily what is being said. And that's the situation that I feel like you guys are in with the communication style that's coming forward here. I feel like there's a lot of vowels, a lot of information coming forward, but mostly in a very emotional way, of a way that it's like you're not necessarily speaking clearly, you're not necessarily being very direct. So if you have things that you need to be very direct with over these next 2 weeks, like writing specific emails or wanting to be very professional or needing to have a very heart-to-heart conversation with someone, but you want to be able to really speak your truth and your emotions clearly, then I definitely think that you should hold off these next 2 weeks, or be very careful with how you communicate over these next 2 weeks and make sure that there isn't your emotions bleeding into those in a way that you didn't necessarily want to. Outside of that, though, what can we write? We do have hex showing up here, which made me think of two different things. Like, because I'm sort of a TTRPG nerd, it made me think of like hex tiles or like hex grid maps, which just mean that like when you're adventuring in a game, you would be moving from one hex to the next, to the next, to the next. So it kind of feels like you're moving through the motions, moving through from one place to the next, maybe even going on like small journeys. Otherwise, also hex in the like more witchy standpoint of things can represent also that you feel sort of bound or binded by something right now. Like someone either has put a hex on you, or more likely, I feel like you've put a hex on yourself. Like you just feel like, again, you're fumbling over your words. You can't get things out clearly. You feel like you've been hexed, or like that you're just not having the best of luck when it comes to how you want to communicate over these next 2 weeks. So again, if you want to be very professional, you want to put out something over these next 2 weeks that's very like clear cut, that's something to consider. Otherwise, you also have a lot of A's and E's, and truly not that much else we can spell. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it there, but definitely feel free to look further, see if there's something that I didn't notice that is coming forward for you over these next 2 weeks. I would love to hear your thoughts. But we're going to move on to first your numbers. So similar to the letters, we're going to be looking into any significant dates coming forward, repeating numbers, angel numbers, and the numerology that comes forward from these numbers. So let's go ahead and look into those. Okay, let's see. So you have the number 6 in red, the number 9 in black, and the number 6 in blue. So lots of repeating numbers here, in the idea of like it repeating back and forth, up and down, with 9s and 6s. The fact that you have a 9 in black tells me that that one's like not as significant as these two with the colors, where you have 6 representing a harmony number. And the fact that you have it kind of going both ways tells me that you're maybe feeling in and out of balance constantly over these next 2 weeks. So like things feel like they're whiplashing back and forth from really big highs and really big lows, because you have both the red, which can represent conflict, to that harmony, and then blue representing like a really good, like you're in a really good place, because it's not only a 6, it's 6 in blue. So the fact that you have this showcasing such like a wild difference tells me, again, those are those emotional highs. Maybe that's why you're having a difficult time communicating, because you're like up and down, back and forth, and you just feel like there's like this whiplash energy. Otherwise, 6s and 9s, 16th or the 19th could be really important dates and significant numbers to consider and look out for over these next 2 weeks. So let's move on to your archetype. So this is going to be that main energy coming forward for you, the energy most likely to come forward, and the energy you're going to feel the most over these next 2 weeks in a form of an archetype. So definitely feel free to send your energy in, connect with the cards, and let's see, group 3, the archetype coming forward for you for the next 2 weeks, group 3. Next 2 weeks. Group 3. Interesting. You got the patron, mentorship, and finances, which is really interesting because this also came up in pile 2. So if you're really feeling called to this card and hadn't been feeling the rest of it, I would definitely recommend going and checking out pile 2, as that comes up farther along. But yeah, mentorship, finances, patron. So this could be that, like, in a very literal sense, maybe you guys are a patron of someone's like Patreon or something, or a membership or subscription service or something like that you are either joining or considering or feeling a lot of feelings towards, with those ups and downs. Otherwise, it also means that you're wanting to lift someone up, right? To be a patron of someone represents wanting to be like a cheerleader for them, wanting to lift them up financially, support them, give them not only your money, but also your time, your energy, your ideas, your resources, right? You're wanting to help this person with this idea that you truly believe in, or this goal that you truly believe in for them, and lift them up, cheerlead them, move them forward. So it also feels like that you're putting a lot of your energy and time and care into others or into another at this time. And maybe that's where those emotions are coming forward, or maybe it's just relating to this in general. But regardless, there's this feeling. Otherwise, you could also be the person being lifted up, but in this case, I really feel like it is you lifting someone else, which is really nice to see. Let's go ahead and see a little bit further with the energy of the charms. So what we're going to do here is on this charm casting mat, we are going to pull some charms from both the tarot tiles and the charms to see what comes forward for you for the next 2 weeks in a more week by week energy forecast. And what we're going to do is anything here in the center is going to be related to that patron energy and the feeling of being a patron for someone, or sort of more of those main energies coming forward. Anything that falls on the left of this vertical line is going to be related to week 1, and anything on the right, week 2. And then we'll talk about the moon phases individually if they show up. So let's begin first with the tarot tiles. So send your energy in as always, and let's see more for you, group 3. Okay, so I also want to pull some charms to get the details. So have a little look-see here, have a little chat with them, and I'll pull some for you. Okay, interesting. All right, I'm going to zoom you in so we can see a little bit closer here. Just going to move these up a little bit so you can see everything. So we have a lot going on with that patron energy here in the center. So lots of energy coming forward. You have the temporary charm with the 5 showing up here at the start of everything. And the temporary charm means that you're temporarily binding or holding someone together, especially while they go through very difficult changes, or they're going through big changes or something like that. So it feels like right now that you are temporarily helping them, that you're not going to be like, maybe this isn't something that you do repetitively, but it's like, okay, you're having a difficult time right now. How can I help you or lift you up? And not only lift you up, but lift your ideas, lift your dreams, lift your goals, right? Not just lift you up to help you make ends meet, but how can I help you have more of a quality of life to that? Especially because you're in a position of power to do so right now with the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands always wants to shine light on others, to bring confidence and bolster confidence in other people. So that energy is sort of coming forward here with that. And then you also have it next to the supportive charm of the 6 of Cups, which the 6 of Cups can represent in this case, as you can see, someone is giving emotional support to someone else. So it also feels like you're getting some emotional support, and there's like a reciprocity with any of the 6 cards, and like as in the 6s of the deck, in that it usually goes both ways. So it's also like someone that maybe will eventually return the favor and help you as you've helped them. Other things going on, these ones feel more related to their particular week, so let's look into those. You have the bird charm, and you have it next to the 3. The 3 represents, and 3s in general represent a community or a collection of people versus like a one-on-one like friendship or relationship. In this case, it feels like you are collaborating with other people or working in a community, or it is something that you're a part of a community. Maybe it's, again, a patron situation, or relating to like a Patreon or a subscription or something where there's a community, a Discord maybe related to those things. But there's hesitancy here. So what we also have here showing up is the bird of hesitancy, right? It makes me think of like a bird that's just about to fly for the first time. They're just on the branch. They're hesitating. They're not sure if they have the courage or the bravery or the guts or the skills to be able to fly yet, but they're thinking about it. And so there's something showing up here where you're looking towards this community and you're thinking about it. So maybe it's also something that you haven't necessarily dove into here in the first week, but it's something that you're considering joining a community or joining some sort of teamwork effort going on here. Could be related to everything we talked about here, or could be something entirely unrelated that you just want to join a community or help someone in that way, or wanting to just explore. Otherwise, you also have the Lover's Charm, or Lover's card, and the Lover is showing up next to this as well. I'm not super close to it, but just in general in your first week tells me too that you're leading from a place of love when it comes to this first week. So that's either bringing more love to other people and bringing more expressions of love, but also can represent too that you're wanting to choose to go down the alley of love in some way. So it really just feels like love is at the center of your first week, which is really nice to see. As for your second week, we have the moving forward charm, and this also can represent maybe, again, helping to move forward someone else in your life that you're being sort of a patron for or cheerleader for, specifically if they are a Pisces or a water sign maybe. Showing up here, but it does not have to be necessarily. It also can just be like that ebb and flow feeling, especially if you're wanting to help move someone forward in a non-judgmental way, because you also have this just got stuck in this ages ago, but sometimes it lands this way with the evil eye. But let's see what's under this card as well. You have the Tower card. Okay, so this tells me that someone right now you're helping to move forward after a very difficult time in their life, because you have the Tower showing up for them. So the Tower represents, a really big external change or a really big foundational shift that's happened for them that they weren't expecting, that they didn't have, or even if they were expecting, right, it's still hard, it's still difficult. And so it's really that you're helping to move forward someone without judgment, possibly a Pisces in your life, moving forward at this time. And then you also have what is this called? Why can't I say words today? The Eight of Pentacles. So the Eight of Pentacles, as you can see, represents someone really honing their craft or working really hard and diligently towards something to complete a task or a goal. And the fact that you have it upside down as in reversed tells me too that you're taking it a bit easy this second week, that you're not like working super hard or working super diligently. You're like just slowing down, taking it more easy, focusing on other people in these next 2 weeks. So overall, those are all of the charms and cards that I have here for you, group 2, or group 3 rather. If you found that this was useful and helpful to you in navigating your next 2 weeks, definitely be sure to give this video a like and let me know in the comments down below what you saw. Always curious to hear. And because it is a new year, definitely feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, because I put out new pick a card readings every single Monday for the most part. And I also put out some educational videos that you might like as well on charm casting and art magic. And if you are interested in your new year, if you want to see the main theme, biggest energies coming forward to you for your new year and how to navigate them with more clarity and understanding, then definitely feel free to reach out for a New Year's reading. I have both digital and snail mail reading options. So there are ones with more affordability, or you can go for the full works with the snail mail readings if you'd like to. And I also like to provide more affordable price points as well, with 2 different spreads that you can choose from for something that is much more small but still impactful, or a much larger deep dive into your new year kind of spread. So whatever you'd like to do there, I think that these are the perfect readings to get if you've never gotten a reading from me or anyone really before, or even if you just want to start the new year off right, then definitely feel free to reach out, because I think these are the perfect ones because you're going to use them year round, so you get a lot out of them. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely feel free to reach out. All the information is down below with helpful and honest reviews and in that pinned post that I have there on my profile. Otherwise, you can also feel free to just reach out to me and I'll send more information your way, whether it's through an Instagram DM or an email. So with that all said, thank you so much for being here with me today. Wishing you the best for your next 2 weeks, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.